Hi, I'm Chris at Softworld, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can easily take a product photo either in your own home or in your office, and how you can use just a simple light to enhance it. Then what we're going to do is put the image into Photoshop to mask it. That will then allow you to add it onto different backgrounds, different images, or even use it within videos. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, the first step then is of course to take the photo of your product. For this example, I'm going to be taking a picture of me holding my Sony a7 III camera, and I'm going to do this in my living room. I've got a couple of basic lights, and I'm also going to use some natural light from the window. And because I'm going to be shooting alone today, I'm going to just use my camera, which will be my iPhone, and I'm going to place that on a tripod, and I'll use the timer feature so I can capture the picture and make sure it is framed correctly for the shot. Okay, let's head there and have a look. Here we are in my living room, and as you can see, it's quite a basic setup. I've got my phone in a holder on a tripod, and I've got a lamp next to me which will give me some nice balanced light on the background, on the product itself, and also I've got a window to my right hand side which will allow in some natural light. This will make sure the product has light all around it, which is a key thing when it comes to shooting a product. And what I'm going to do is use the built-in camera app on my iPhone, and I'm also going to turn on the RAW feature. This will give the enhanced editing when it comes to post-production. It will mean you've got more flexibility to raise the highlights, to change the colours, the contrast, pretty much anything when it comes to editing the photo itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a few shots. I'm going to use the timer feature as well, a 3-second timer. This will allow me to be a little bit more comfortable when I'm holding the product, and also it will stop any bumps or knocks when it comes to pressing the shutter button, just to make sure I get a really sharp image. Okay, let's go ahead and take these shots. Okay, I think that should do. What I'm going to do now is head back to my office, jump into Photoshop and see how we can mask out this product. Okay, so I'm going to be using Photoshop CC for this demo, and it's running on my M1 powered Mac Mini. And I might add that this combination is an absolute dream. It's such a pleasure to use. So there's many different ways that you can mask your image, and what I'm going to be doing is using the quick selection tool today. And I find this a great option to use as it's quick, easy and extremely effective. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a click, then also click on the select subject icon. And you can see now that the subject has been selected and it appears to have done a pretty good job. Then next, I'm going to click on select in the menu bar and choose select and mask. You can also click on the icon there at the very top. And here I like to change the background to black as I prefer that, because it gives me the best option to see just how good the selection is, and it helps me refine it if needs be. You can zoom in if you want to, and you can see that the edges could do with a little bit of work. We want it to look as clean as possible, just to give the most professional looking image. So to do this, head over to the right hand side of the screen, and then under global refinement, you'll see there's different sliders. There's one for smooth, feather, contrast and shift edge. So go ahead and play about with these to make your selection. This is going to be different for different images, different selections, and you need to kind of play around with this for yourself to see which works best for the image you have masked. For me, adding a little bit of feather helps, as well as increasing the contrast, and it's already starting to look a lot better. And you can recover some of the edges here, and that's where I like to use the shift edge slider. So I'm happy with this, it looks clean. And next, I'm going to head over to the output settings and select output to layer mask. This will give me the clean image without any of the background. Then I can start to use this in different projects and different use cases. Now that we have our image masked, we can play around and add it to different backgrounds, and this is where your use case will differ to mine completely because you will already have an idea of what you want to do. In this example, I'm just going to start playing around with a gradient background. So I'm going to go ahead, choose the gradient tool, and then just choose some different colours, see what I think might look nice with the image, and then also just change the angle of this as well. Once I've done this, I will place the image on top, play around again with the placement, and then add a little bit of text just so you can see what it might look like as a little bit of a poster or an image that you might want to share. Once I've done this, I am then going to play around with adding some shadows and some shading to the mask just to make it pop slightly from the background. Again, this will really depend on what you want to do with it. Next, I'm going to add a photo or an image as the background. Here I'm going to use a nice long exposure of a city scene, which is an extremely good photo, and then I'm going to place the image over the top, again with the same text, and just play around with adding a little bit of a Gaussian blur just to enhance the foreground, which is the product shot in this use case. It looks alright, I'm quite pleased with that. But again, this will entirely depend on what you want to do with your image that you have masked. Sometimes you may notice that there is a little area that might not have been masked exactly right. This is easily fixed afterwards, and here we can show you an example. As you can see, an area on my wrist. All you need to do is go up to the toolbar, click the eraser tool, choose the size and the hardness to suit the area that you need to remove, and then simply zoom in if you need to make it larger, easier to get it nicely refined, and go ahead, click and then drag and easily remove those areas. Great stuff. Okay, the next thing and the final thing is how we can add the image to something like a video editor of your choice. In this example for me now, I'm going to show you how we can add this image to Final Cut Pro. And then we can easily do this by clicking on the import icon, choose the image, add this to your timeline, and then just to make it enhanced slightly, just to give you some context, I'm going to add a generator. And there's one here called Glimmer. And then once we've got this, we can place the image on top, and then we can also edit the image slightly just to make it fade in and fade out. And here you can see we've got a very simple image video just to kind of enhance it slightly. This again is going to really depend on your use case and what you want to do with your masked image. So there we have it. A nice easy way to take a product shot in your own home or office using some lights and the timer feature if it comes in handy, and then we've masked the image within Photoshop, played around with some backgrounds, added some text, even a photo behind, and then finally we added the image to Final Cut just to add it into a video. I hope it's been useful, I hope you learned something there. Until next time, take care and I'll see you soon.